Hello and welcome back to another episode of Game Brigade. I am your host, Brian, and today on the show we're going to be taking a look at another Kickstarter. This one is from an indie developer out of Australia. So if you are new to the show, we do reviews, previews, and playthroughs of your favorite games. So if that's something that might interest you, please consider subscribing. So we're going to be taking a look at Animal World War. This is a game that I actually had the opportunity to play over the weekend, and I really enjoyed it. So I thought, you know what? I want to make sure I bring the attention to this game to my audience. Maybe you guys would enjoy it and see if it's something that you might potentially consider backing. So we're going to go ahead and take a look real quick at the campaign. So the campaign's about halfway through currently. It's on day 9. We're at 139 subscribers and $7,669 of their roughly $15,000 goal. Now this is in Australian currency throughout the pledge levels and whatnot. So you're going to need to convert that from Australian dollars to United States dollars or whatever country you originate from, because the currency values are a little different. So what is Animal World War? So Animal World War was it's a war game based in an alternate reality of a World War II setting where you've got the carnivores and the herbivores kind of at battle with each other. And what I liked about the game is that you're on hexes. The game is a hex-based game that can be randomized to create unique different battlefields, and you have an objective that you'll draw randomly at the start of the game to dictate how this game will be played. The game is fairly open, so it's not a linear game in terms of how you play. It's pretty open in terms of the decisions you want to make, and the fact that you can have multiple different objectives potentially in a single round, or you can play it as annihilation, allows you to have a lot of different replayability aspects. So let's kind of scroll down a little bit further so you can kind of see what I'm talking about here on the board. So the board will have these different tiles, and you'll notice there are some unique different tiles. You've got these gray ones with a square on them. You've got these very heavily tree looking ones, some ones with nothing on it, just grass, and some here are some trees, and you have water. So what I liked about this game, and let's say we're lining up down here, is every tile will have a numerical value on it from about, I think, 2 to 5. It might be 3 or 5. And that number indicates the cover value of this specific tile. And so let me rewind real quick, because there was an aspect when I was playing this game with the developer. He mentioned something that I thought was very interesting to me. He said, when I'm developing games, I like to start with the theme and the idea and then build up from there. I don't take like a concept of the game and then kind of work the theme into it. He said, I want to build a World War II game with my pre-created environment, the world that he's already made with the animals battling each other, and let's build and add in elements to that. And so this will feel very unique and very what's the term I'm thinking of? Where everything makes sense is the term I'm thinking of. Like, that makes sense. Like when he was teaching me the games, like, okay, that makes sense. So the way it'll work is you'll put your little figurines based on who you're deploying in each square, and you can have multiple in a specific square. One unit doesn't take the whole unit. You can have multiples in a specific square, and that's the cover value when a person is attacking them. And so to deal damage to someone in that tile, you have to roll your dice, and your dice have to equal or be more than that tile value. But what I find is interesting is that when someone's shooting from, say, up here to down to here, their bullet has to pass through all the territories in a straight line. So that means it has to actually also pass the values for all of these, because there's, like, if someone's here in this bush and I'm over here, their bullet has to go through this very heavily wooded forest. So the bullet has to pass through this field to strike me. So let's say you do not roll the requisite number needed to move through this field. Well, that means the bullet will then have damaged the cover here. And when a specific cover is damaged enough, the tile will flip over and it becomes known as a no man's land. And they actually have a photo of that. Let me see if I can, right here. So this is an example of, you have a building here, which gives 5 cover. But if your building was to be destroyed, it now flips over to this cratered landmass. It only provides 2 cover, because your guys can still hide in these craters, but obviously it's not as much cover as this building. So what I experienced playing this game was that the battlefield, you start with the battlefield looking like this, and then it's going to be completely unique because it's going to have different lands are going to be destroyed. Different effects can destroy the land. So if you drop bombs or throw grenades, those things all can impact the cover system differently, and really changes how the system works. So how do you create your armies? So what you have are 12 different types of specialties that you can draft from at the start of the game. So the way to work is the herbivores will pick a guy and they'll say, well, we're going to take a medic. Then the carnivores will pick a guy and they're going to take a captain, until each team has 6. You can change that number plus or minus. That's one of the things I like about this game, is it can be whatever you want it to be. 6 is what they recommend. So that's what we played with 6. So you're going to have 6 of these 12 used. And each one has a special ability that's unique to that unit, which will make it so, things will have counters, things will be better in certain situations. Some things are not going to be as good as you thought they were, based on how your opponents drafted their army, which is really cool. And then your units will have the ability to do 2 different things. They can do, well, technically 3. You can move, so from one tile to another tile. You can shoot, and here's an example of shooting through that cover to make sure that, they have to hit over 2 and they hit 3, so they hit their target. Or they can throw a grenade, or they can use their special ability. Special ability, like the sniper, it was, if you're inside a building, you just have to roll a 2 or higher to hit your target. So something like that, but you had to be in a building. So that's using his ability. So I liked some of the combos that I was able to made. One of the commanders here, I think the captain, allowed me to, for his action, I could give another person their action again. So I was able to use my sniper to snipe, and then took my captain and said, sniper, snipe again. And I felt like I was able to push a lot of damage doing that way. So I liked there was aspects of the different types of combinations we could do. And then there obviously you have tanks and airplanes involved in the game. So, and even in that aspect, if the tank gets destroyed, the tanker jumps out and crawls away, and then the tank explodes and creates a new no man's land, with the wreckage of the tank becoming its own cover, which can also be destroyed. So there were so many aspects of things that could change how the game played, and unique aspects, that I thought was a very, very fun and easy system, and another war game that could take between 30 and 40 minutes for 2 players. Now, they did state that this game could be played up to 8 players. I felt after playing it that it feels like a 2-player game. So I'm probably going to be going back and playing one more game at a 3 to 4 level player count. But based on how I felt finishing the first game, really strongly think that's a strong 2-player game. So if you have someone that you want to play a war game with that has some strategic depth to it, this would be a great, easy pickup for that. So let's take a look at the pledge levels here before we wrap up. So this campaign has a lot of pledge levels. I'll give you that up front. So if you are going through this already and you're a little confused, hopefully this video can kind of explain some things as we go through it. So they do have a $1 pledge. This will give you access to the pledge manager, standard $1 pledge. They do have a $10 pledge that's very similar to accessing the pledge manager, but you're going to be able to get some additionals with that, which means name in the rule book, and the Animal World War wallpapers. I knew there was one more. So this is an additional way to help support the campaign, give them some money, and availability to back in the backer kit if you choose to. If not, you're out your $10, but you helped. And this is Australian dollars, by the way, but you helped. So actually, let's take a look at that real quick. What is Australian pledged back down? $8. So So 10 US dollar or 10 Australian dollars would be 8 US dollars. So they have 2 pledge levels for the standard game. They have an early bird paratrooper, which is $10 off. There's currently 97 backers in that right now with a limit of 100. So this is a limited opportunity. Hopefully by the time this video goes out, that's still available for any of you guys that are interested in doing it. But this will get you the game for $49. It also gives you some bonuses, which is nice because you normally don't get bonuses like this. But you get some medallions, little things you can put on your desk. You get your name in the name in the rule book, the wallpapers. You get those badges that I just mentioned here. And if they're able to reach a certain stretch goal, the figuring stretch goal will be unlocked. That would be replacing the little standees with miniatures. I will tell you right now, don't be nervous if it doesn't get to the miniature level, because I really enjoyed the standee gameplay. I didn't think it detracted at all from it. It kind of reminded me of like Stratego, that really old game that we all played when we were like 5 years old. I kind of like the standees. It was interesting, and the art on them was pretty phenomenal as well. I don't know if what I played will be the final components, obviously, but they were really nice. That's one of the things I like about this game is the art is super good. So this is the exact same pledge level, the Animal Soldier, but it's $59. So you're going to be getting everything the same as the one above, but it's going to be costing you $10 more. So if you want to get in this game, get that Animal Paratrooper. So Animal Sergeant at 89 Australian dollars is going to include both Animal World War as well as Animal Empire, which is the prequel of this game. It's part of the same universe. So if you really enjoy the carnivores versus herbivores aspect, Animal Sergeant will be able to get you both games at a discounted price. They say that this is about $110 Australian dollars retail. So if we go further down, we're starting to get into more Kickstarter-based games. So basically, you're going to be getting the base game with additional games. So I'm not going to go too much into detail of these, but basically, that's what these are. If you want to get the Kickstarter, I'm a Doctor, Terrible Candidate, Animal Empire, everything like that, $129. This one does include a captain helmet, but I have no value in terms of what that entails. Is it, how big it is, and anything in terms of the quality. And then they get pretty wild down here, and then it gets down to a retailer copy. So these are the pledge levels. I'd recommend, if you truly are interested in this game, to check out the pledge levels at a deeper level. Find one that fits your needs, because I'm sure there's going to be one that fits for you. The second part about this game that I really thought was interesting, and I wanted to bring it up, is it does have a legacy campaign built into it with pretty interesting rules. And so we played the game with this as the backdrop, and then we built our map on top of it. But on top of it, there are cities that you can compete for in the campaign. And so I thought that was interesting that they included a legacy campaign in this game. It almost felt like purely to me a skirmish game. So to have more depth into a story, into potential a campaign, I thought was really interesting. So I wanted to make sure I pointed that out as well. So that's the campaign. So I'm going to scroll back up to the top. Actually, we're just going to fade back around to me. So let's go have a conversation. So this is Animal World War. Like I said, I had a really good time playing this game with the developer. I felt like it was easy to learn. I felt like it was had enough depth in it to satisfy myself as a wargamer, and I learned it fairly quickly. And that was what really drove me to this game. Was as we were playing, it all seemed very intuitive. That's the word I was thinking of earlier, by the way. It all seemed very intuitive. It all seemed very symmetrical in the things that made sense. And the fact that the opponent's armies did the same thing as mine. It wasn't like I had to learn a whole bunch of different stuff all the time. It was fairly easy. If I knew what my guys did, I know what my opponent's guys do. And now it's just a chess game of who can be more strategic in winning the game. So Animal World War is very interesting to me. I'll have all the information in the links down below. So check out down below. I always put a whole wealth of information down there. So I recommend checking that out. This was Brian from Game Brigade. If you want to support the channel, please leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this Kickstarter. If you really want to support us, make sure you click that thumbs up button. Let us know you like it. We will talk to you very soon. Have a great day.